Right, welcome back to the YouTube vlog. So, it is an absolutely horrid day here in Sydney. It's been raining for like the last week straight. We haven't seen any sun at all, which is pretty bad. But, nonetheless, we are just under 5 weeks out. So, we will be 4 weeks out from this Sunday from the New South Wales State Show, which I cannot wait for. And just to give you guys a bit of a prep update, we did hit a new low weight this morning, which is fantastic, 91.9, which is always going to be good. So essentially, I wanted to bring you guys along to see how much it costs to buy food as a bodybuilder in Australia. So we are doing an official grocery haul, like the Americans call it. So we'll be going down to the local shops. At the moment, unfortunately, organic meats and organic groceries in Sydney are quite expensive, so we will be going to our local Woolworths or Coles and pretty much grabbing the majority of the stuff from there that we need. So pretty similar stuff. I mean, if you guys watch any of the things that I post on my Instagram or my socials, my food sources typically stay the same. You don't really want to be changing your food sources or switching things up too much, especially towards the back end of prep, just because, you know, if you run into any sort of digestive issues, then it's going to be hard for you to figure out where that's actually coming from if you keep switching around your food. So for me, the only main differences that I've made so far is obviously as calories have gotten lower, we've switched from having white rice to spud-light potatoes, which here in Oz are the lower carb version of a white potato essentially. So still a white potato, but just 30% lower carb. And that's just to give me more volume in my food. So satiation is key here. I mean, being hungry is to be expected. You're going to be hungry in prep because it's just a part of the process. But any sort of little strategies that we can incorporate to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more adherable, not that we're not going to adhere to it, but yeah, just a little bit more manageable, will definitely work to your benefit. So that's pretty much it from a dieting perspective. Obviously, you know, you guys will see all the different foods that I get. We'll tally up a little price total at the end as well, so you can see how much it actually costs. Now, mind you, this is prep, so I do eat a lot more food in the off season, so my grocery bill does go up exponentially. But for now, like I said, carb sources are relatively cheap, so not too worried about that. It's just more the protein, you know, steak, chicken, things like that. So aside from that, training's been going pretty well. I can't really complain. I did come off a deload. If you guys didn't see my full day of eating episode where I was on a refeed, make sure you go down and you watch that. And while we're talking about that, if you haven't already liked or subscribed to the channel, please do so. It really helps me bring out more content if I know that you guys are liking it and you guys are seeing it. I'm just being raw on YouTube, so I love doing this stuff. I love talking about it, and any way I can help people or educate them or even just show them what it's like doing this stuff, if I get a bit of support for it, even by clicking that like or subscribe button, it means the world to me. So do that. But as I was saying, coming off from a training perspective, things have been going relatively well, definitely a lot better than they did last prep, just because I've essentially managed my fatigue accordingly, working with a very good coach who is learning my body just like I'm learning my body, and knowing when to push really hard and knowing when to pull back a bit. So that's probably the most important thing that you want to manage on prep, because fatigue will get through the roof, and you want to make sure that you are allocating the majority of your energy towards your training sessions, because muscle retention is always the goal. You're not going to put on a hell of a lot of muscle during prep, if any. You just essentially want to be able to strip off all that fat and be left with the muscle that you've developed in the off season, which is why it's so important to be able to maximize your off season and essentially treat it as an extension of prep. And this is something that I've only just recently started to learn myself. Like, yes, it's my second season. Some people it might take longer, but when you really realize what goes into building quality amount of tissue in the off season, you really have to treat it as seriously as you would a contest prep. So the mindset will be the same leading off the back end of this show into the next off season. Obviously, I will be a little bit more lenient with, with food. We might even film some, little cheat days or cheat meals here and there, which will be obviously accounted for once I have enough food to be able to metabolize that, so we don't get fat, because you don't want to get fat. But yeah, just to give you guys a bit of an update, into the whole sort of mental training thing being this far out. Mental fatigue is definitely up there as well. That's another thing. But again, having to manage that, I think, has been a lot easier this time around, just because, we've got the coaching business going. We're also actually launching a podcast very soon as well, so stay tuned for that, which both me and my brother Nick, who's my business partner, are extremely excited about. So having these things to keep you busy during a contest prep and making sure that you're always constantly engaged doing some sort of activity will definitely take a psychological load off you, as well as just being surrounded by good people in general. So I think that's going to be the most important thing when embarking on any adventure or any sort of journey, is to make sure that you have a really good support network around you, and that you're in a positive environment, because it just makes it that much easier for you to just persevere through that craft, through that journey, because you actually have people around you that want you to do well. Because a lot of people say they want you to do well. As soon as they start seeing you leveling up in your own way, or taking risks, you'll very quickly come soon to realize who drops off and who sticks around. So main thing is, love what you do, give it everything you've got. And yeah, that's my little motivational talk as we're driving today. We're just pulling up to the shops now, so we will jump out of the car when we park up, and we'll essentially see you guys inside Woolworths. Another hot little tip for you Australians: bring your own bags, because the paper bags that they give you at Woolies and Coles, they're shocking. Especially if you got heavy groceries, protein, stuff like that. They're pretty shit, and it is raining here in Sydney, so the last thing I want is all my stuff to be falling out. So get your own bags, you can fit a lot more. You don't have to pay 30 cents per hit. Let's do it. One thing that I love about coming to the shops nice and early is that it is dead. There's hardly anyone here, which means you're not nervous filming in public, so that's a big bonus. We've got Big Nick over here, the cameraman, as well. By the way, I am filming on this new DJI Osmo Pocket 3, so we'll see how this turns out, because I'm not like a filmographer or videographer by any chance. So I literally am winging this. Hopefully footage is good. We'll see how we go. We are going to grab, I've got to get the list out actually from my phone, because there's a few things to get, but hopefully everything's stocked. The problem is when you do come this early in the morning, it's like 8 o'clock, they don't always have all the shelves stocked at this time, but we're hoping that we have everything that we need so far. So let's go grab ourselves a trolley and we'll get into it. I do have an appointment at 10:30, so we've got to try and get this done as quickly as kind of possible, but I also want to explain to you guys, what we're getting, why we're getting it, so let's do it. You got to find a good trolley. Always do the wheel test, see if they're fucked or not, and we're good. First one's the best one, so. Alright, first order on the agenda. As you guys can see, we've got a couple things on the list here. I do like to come prepared, so we always have the list ready to go, so that way we're not wasting time here. Alright, so we've got to start off with our veggies. Don't forget your greens. I've spoken about this in the past. We have got the baby spinach, so we need the value pack, because we had a fair bit of this. So 2 of the value packs of the baby spinach. I do use this in my omelette. And then where are the tomatoes at? 2 packs of the cherry tomatoes, which we also use in our omelette. So that's our greens taken care of. I'll eat usually roughly about 400 grams of veggies per day. I don't use a greens powder at the moment. In the off season, when food does get a little bit heavy, I'll probably use a greens powder, just because the volume of adding extra veggies, it's just a bit hard on the digestive system, so that's when I will incorporate a greens powder. But for the moment, I'm eating veggies, they keep me full. They taste all right too, especially in the egg omelette, so I can't complain about that. Now, pineapples. These aren't in season at the moment, so I've got to find one that's actually juicy. So you always do the good old smell test. And you want to make sure it's nice and golden. I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to pineapples because I eat so many of them. But we want to make sure that we get one that's relatively ripe. I think this is going to be the winner for today. So pineapple secured. All right, what's next on the list? We've got our potatoes. So we need to grab the potatoes that I was talking about. We are doing 3 kilos of Spudlight potatoes and another 3 kilos of normal potatoes. So I shall grab, not the baby whites, I want full size. Yep, 1.5 kilos. So 2 of these. And then we will grab another bag of normal white potato. I do already have another one of these at home, so we're just topping up. But that's all our carb sources pretty much done now, so I think it's time to go for the protein. Yeah, let's go get our chicken. Oh, another thing that I'll mention is that at the moment, so with my steak, I'm not particularly the biggest fan of supermarket steak or chicken for that fact, but chicken, we'll deal with it. But for the steak, we order from this place called the Butcher Crowd, which is actually really good. So grass-fed, pretty much, you know, organic meat, which is really nice. And we get a delivery from them once every fortnight. So I'll alternate between that depending on when the rest of the family gets their food, because we essentially buy all that in bulk. So one week I'll do supermarket steak, the other week I'll have, you know, the Butcher Crowd steak. So it's good too, supporting your local farmers. Everyone knows that meat is very expensive, and if you can get some premium cuts, it'll be probably better for your health in the long run anyway, because they don't have all the added hormones and shit like that. So yeah, but again, it's an expense thing too. Like with the amount of protein that we eat in bodybuilding, it can get quite expensive. So save money where you can, but at the same time, try and get better cuts of meat. I know it's a bit of a juxtaposition there, but try and make it work. Anyway, chicken breast, we need 2.8 kilos. So let's move further down where we've got the bulk packs. Don't make this mistake that I have made in the past when you are getting your chicken breast. So if you see, we've got this stuff here that says quick sale. Let me just grab it. Last time I went and bought one of these that had a yellow sale sticker on it, I got very, very sick. So whatever you do, do not buy the quick sale chicken, because you will get sick. Do not risk it. Just pay full price, because God knows how long they've been sitting in there for. And like I said, the last thing you want is to get sick. So always go for the freshest one with the biggest use by date on there, because that way you're saving yourself from potentially having a very upset stomach for a few days. These are all on special. I don't like that. I want to pay full price, because you know what, I'm just going to check the expiry dates. Best before the 26th. Oh, it's in 6 days. Maybe they just have a special on them. Anyway, if I'm sick next week, guys, then it was nice knowing you. I've already copped salmonella twice in the past from chicken that's got freaking yellow special tags on it, but they seem to have a special this week, so we're not going to complain. But what we do need is 1.8 kilos. So turns out I'm a bit of a special bastard. I'm meant to get 2.8 kilos, so it was 2 bulk packs. And another little tip too, I don't know what the go is with the scales at these supermarkets, but when I re-weigh these at home, they're always under. So if you need 3 kilos of chicken breast, get 3.2, because it'll end up weighing down back to 3 on your scales at home, trust me. I don't know whether they calibrate them off or whatever it is, but they're never accurate. Right now, we're at the milk section. So that's all our proteins covered. The only thing I need here is unsweetened almond milk. This tastes like shit, don't drink it. I'll put it in my Ninja Creamy. That's the only thing why, that's the only reason why I buy it. So, unsweetened almond milk for the Ninja. Actually, I only need one, I think I've got one at home. Yeah, drink normal milk, guys. Like, lactose intolerance, all that rubbish, just drink normal milk, it's good for you. Unless you do severely shit yourself, different story. But normal milk is the best milk, so big advocate for it. I just can't drink it at the moment because we're prepping, but unsweetened almond milk for the Ninja Creamy. If you guys do want to see like a full video on how I make my Ninja Creamy, let me know. Oh, and since we're here, the diet right. This hack I spoke about, if you haven't jumped on this trend yet, make sure that you get onto it. You need to be drinking at least, I believe, 3 liters of water per day, or fluid, right? No one does that. So this stuff here is the biggest hack. It's got almost no calories in it. You mix 1 part with 10 parts water, and you've got a sugar-free cordial that you can drink in every single one of your water bottles, whatever, all day. So I always get myself a couple of these. This is just the flavor I've been going with recently, the apple strawberry guava. And this is how I'm able to drink 6 liters of water a day. I mean, it's 5 liters Pepsi Max and Monsters, maybe 1 liter of this, but you get the point. 6 liters of fluid a day. Grab a couple of those. Speaking of energy drinks, we shall make our way over to that aisle. Does this even need an explanation? You should already know by now. They don't have many options today. I want to try those new V's. They've got these new flavors of V's that have come out, but I still haven't, but sugar-free ones obviously, but I still haven't been able to find them. So I don't know, am I feeling a little bit fruity today? Try something else. They've got these little new Oxy Shreds here that I'm considering trying, eh? You know what, we're gonna get a lychee one and this voodoo blackberry shit, whatever this is. I've got Monsters at home, so I don't think I really need to get any more. Yeah, my fridge is pretty stocked at the moment. It's an addiction, guys. I'm proud to wear it. If you're a bodybuilder or a gym junkie or a fellow stim junkie, you can relate. If you're not, don't judge me. So I'm gonna do it anyway. And like I said, it's better than sinking 10 pints of beers on the weekend, because alcohol is in fact a poison. Whereas this, it's good for you. No, I'm kidding. It's not bad. It's really not bad. The amount of aspartame that you need to be consuming, and for people that don't know this, there's actually more aspartame in an egg, which is the most natural thing you can pretty much eat. There's more aspartame in an egg than there is in an energy drink, so there's a little bit of trivia for you. Correction on the eggs, what I meant was aspartic acid. So aspartame will break down into aspartic acid, and as I said, eggs contain more aspartic acid than these things do right here. So it's not gonna kill you. Like with anything, balance is key, and you should be consuming all foods in moderation. Dark chocolate for our cream of rice, can't forget it. And some chewing gum, because I get hungry during prep. Chewing gum is another good hack. It's a battle hunger, and we shall move on. So the biggest thing that people misconstrued is that true meaning of balance when it comes to nutrition. 80-20 rule, guys. Just stick to the 80-20 rule. You'll get shredded, not shredded, but you'll get jacked and you'll get lean, and you'll be happier that way. So on that note, we've got a couple of little condiments to get here. That's another thing too, don't be afraid to use sauces, provided that 1, they're being tracked, and 2, they're relatively low in calorie, and they make your life a lot easier. Your food does not have to be boring. So I wanted here one of the French's mustard, the typical American mustard, which we are not in the right section for. I thought we were. We are not in the right section at all. We gotta go. It's the next one. We have found our way in the right section. So, French's mustard, which is a staple in, I think, like 5 out of my 6 meals. I think I go through probably a bottle of this a week. They are small. I mean, it's not much, but the good thing about French's is it's 4 calories per serve, right? So if I'm having this 3 times a day, And I don't do a full serve, I literally do a little squirt, so maybe 3 or 4 grams. Less than 10 calories across all my meals in sauce, and I account for it too. So even though this is low calorie sauces, because obviously I'm in prep, I still account for it. The other thing that I also usually get is Frank's Red Hot sauce. Let me just check to see if I need any this time around. I do. So we will get one of the original, and we're also going to get one of the buffalo wing sauce. This one here's cracker. On chicken, on eggs, on anything. Actually, I think I have this one at home. I've got a couple of bottles of these. We're just going to get the OG and the mustard, and I think that'll do us for the condiment section. Ketchup, stuff like that I've already got. Again, same with ketchup, right? You've got full sugar stuff, or you've got the reduced salt and sugar. Same goes for barbecue sauce. It's like, guys, you can't taste the difference in this stuff. So when they have these options available, it makes it that much easier for you to track and just to stay accountable. I'll give you an example, right? So you've got Nando's, let's just grab Pyrenees, right, mild. So per serving, which is 15 grams, you've got 33 calories, right? This actually isn't a really bad option. That's not too bad. When you compare this, which is quite nice, to something like a full fat mayo, vegan aioli, yuck. Anyway, compare the Nando's Pyrenees to like a normal mayonnaise. There you go. 14 grams, 102 calories, right? 15 grams, 33 calories. You have this twice a day on your chicken wraps or whatever it is, mate. That's 200 calories. That's almost a full serving of chicken breast that you've just eaten in sauce. So think about that. All right, so we are almost done, guys. A couple of bits and bobs to go, and we will be out of here. So we've pretty much got everything. All I need now is some frozen berries, and I need to go back and get some shredded lettuce actually, because that's one thing that I forgot to get. One of my meals is just protein and shredded lettuce. So we will be going back for that. And I believe that will do it. We'll tally everything up, figure out how much it costs, get out of here. Beans. Another veggie sauce. This goes with my chicken meal, so 3 of these. It's funny how I got things written down, but I look at them and then I forget about them. Literally as I'm going through the aisles. Like, this is what prep brain is. You just forget shit non-stop. Actually, that's the other thing I need. By the way, anyone out there that knows their beauty products and whatnot, a good exfoliator. I need a recommendation. One thing that won't tell you about bodybuilding is how much you actually need to emphasize your skincare. I know it sounds a bit airy-fairy, and trust me, I'm not one of those, but I still need to look after my skin. So yeah, getting a good exfoliator, making sure that you're maintaining the quality of your skin and your overall skin hygiene is actually super important, because the last thing you want to do is work your whole butt off for 6 months, a year on end to prepare for a show. And then you get up on stage and you literally look horrible just because of your skin quality. So I will be grabbing some sort of exfoliator too. I've got no idea which one to get, but anything's better than nothing, so let's do that quickly. I'm genuinely lost in this section. I do not know what to get to exfoliate with, because I know there's some good ones, there's some that aren't recommended for your skin. It looks like they've only got one here, but I don't like this one that much, so I don't know, people are gonna walk past and see me in the same aisle with the tampons on and think, what's this bloke doing just standing around the women's section? But we are here on a mission. We want to look after our skin, so I guess we're just gonna sit here until we find one that it's gonna do the job. Where's that one? I've used one before that I know is decent, just that palm olive one. All right, so luckily enough, we were able to get some help from someone to get a nice exfoliating body wash. I've got no idea what this is, but we'll see how the skin texture turns up in a couple of days' time, I guess. All right, we've got one more thing to get, 2 more things. We've got the frozen blueberries, and then 2 bags of shredded lettuce, and we're good to go. That's pretty much it. All right, last things on my list is the shredded lettuce. So I've got a couple of bags of this at home. That's pretty much it. I think egg whites, bro. How could I forget? See, I knew. All right, and once again, we've been let down. For some reason, there's some egg shortage in Australia, and there's no egg whites. This is why I stock up on them, and I keep my fridge always full. I do have enough to get through the week, but Hopefully they restock them soon because I will be running out again. But the good thing is a lot of places do usually stock the frozen ones. You just have to defrost them. But yeah, no wig watts today. But it's all right because we came prepared. All right, it's time for the business end of things. Paying for the whole lot. Now, usually, look, the grocery bill stays pretty much the same almost every time. It just depends on what I chop and change get on a different weekly basis, but for the majority it'll stay the same. But anyway, we shall see. Alrighty, so total comes down to 138.74. Oh no, we've got one more. We've got Nick's drink. We'll shout him a monster. So
this is my payment for filming.
141.94. You know, that's not too bad. It's actually not too bad. So, like I said, food is quite low at the moment. So, and don't forget, we didn't get steak. If we got steak, it would have pushed it towards that probably, you know, 150 mark. But considering that we didn't need steak this week, it's pretty sweet. So, as I said, yeah, off season, you'll see the price drastically increase. Usually over 250 bucks at least, but this one isn't too bad. So, plus I do have a bit of stuff at home as well. So that's to show you guys what it's like to essentially prep as a bodybuilder on relatively low food. Let's get all this packed away. And there you pretty much have it, guys. So that's what a bodybuilding grocery shop looks like, a typical one anyway. Not too expensive, like I said, towards the back end of prep. If you guys did like this style of video, let me know. I will be doing an off-season one too and show you how much food we really put down when it's time to grow. But aside from that, thanks for tuning along. Like always, make sure you like and subscribe if you like this style of video. And we will continue this prep series from next week. So we'll see you back for the next one, guys. Thank you.